High Stick is an entertainment, cannabis, news, politics, music, and radio talk show on YouTube for 21 and up. So do what you've always done. Kick your siblings out of the room, throw on your headphones, and enjoy the show. You're listening to The Doc on High Stick Radio. High Stick Radio reminds you not to do anything stupid on marijuana. You know, like get busted by your parents. You're listening to The Doc live on YouTube.
It's official. Yeah. Wow. Ciao.
Industry Ready Production.
KO. I got you.
Your purchase now.
Watch me. $1 million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. I can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough. $1 million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. Can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough. 40 acres with a big house full of plenty food for this skinny dude. I need a reservoir in my backyard with a killer whale in the inner tube. I need a baby mama causing hella drama, but I still showing anything but gratitude. I'd rather y'all stay on my good side, cause you know I'm a nigga with attitude. I need a space suit with a jetpack and some Hot Wheels with a red track. And I might even go get my legs wet. Shit, I don't even know why I said that. Miami Beach in a Lamborghini with the windows down so the people see me. And the music loud so they hear my CD. Make it obvious that I belong on TV. I'm just trying to live a dope life, making my music like a love prize. Yeah, homie, I smash, but it's so nice. I could probably do a track with Miss Snow White. Nah, I ain't done. It's much more. Trying to get my face carved into Mount Rushmore. Now these motherfuckers looking at me like what for? Just to piss you off and create a big uproar. Only reason I want to lie is cause I got it rough. I ain't trying to say that people never shut a nigga up. Give me this, give me that, all of the above. All my niggas hungry and I'm thinking that it's time to grow up. All my niggas hungry and I'm thinking that it's time to grow up. I said, all my niggas hungry and I'm thinking that it's time to grow up. $1 million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. I can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough. $1 million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. Can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough.
B-Rag want a whole lot of stuff. I'm talking iced out, watching the Lincoln truck. We be touring in the Chevy, we don't need a bus. Got stacks on deck, yeah, racks on us. Everybody wanna come and try to approach me like a motherfucker never been high. Made a little bit of money, but I still can't stop. Call up my niggas that be pulling off for the yacht like, ha ha. Let me clear my throat. Drink a fifth of liquor, but I still want more. Know a couple nasty birds and they all gon' go. That ain't enough, I'm parking lot, pimping all them hoes. Official told me we the most known on us. And every time we walk a crowd, they gon' still want more. Yeah, spitting like a Uncle Bear, so watch the flow. And if I had $1 million, I still want gold. So watch me get it. I'm living like I'm just out for paper. And I don't know why I'm still drinking when I'm already faded. I still want more, I'm on my shit. I know we gonna make it. This shit been good to me, so I'ma keep on chasing paper. So don't get the game switched up. Want so much, I can never get enough. Pull up to the show in a big Hummer truck with the flick of the wrist. I'm like lame bitch, what? Got a nice grip, but I want them marble guts. Yeah. Plush leather couches so my crew gets sucked on. Studio at the crib so the beat get touched on. And a gallon of that liquor cause I like to get $1
million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. I can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough. $1 million, that's not enough. Block of birds, that's not enough. Can't scream, that's not enough. On everything, I want a lot of stuff. No, I want a whole lot of stuff. No, but I got so far, it's not enough.
Gold and platinum, diamond rolling, magic leave a boss tongue. Diamond bezel with the big face, fresh Annie's purse and Dubai's. Big pop, Whitney, Puck, easy, Adeline. Big party with the girls got wild, concert in the Coliseum. I need a glass house that's bulletproof, belly truck with no roof. Diamond grill with the Bluetooth. Better never enter party on Caesar's roof. Need a pool party at the Hard Rock. Free pink turtle, no alarm clock. Need a flock of birds and a flock of thoughts. Flock of gangs, man, fuck the cops. Party all out till 5 a.m. Did a couple lines and I did it again. Pop somebody in MDMA. Bumping that game, Mac, Dre, and MJ. Limo truck with a hot jacuzzi, make the movie, strobe lights, sliding movies, Versace, Gucci, Maserati, Ferrari, Dolce, Lamborghini, filled up with new shit. Instagram models, no basics, just fake boobs and spaceships. It's a good life, don't taste it. Yo, main chick of my dream team, no side chicks in my mainstreams. I work the future, I change things.
$1 million, that's not enough. Fly the birds, that's not enough. Cash money, that's not enough. Everything I want, a lot of stuff.
G, low.
I want a whole lot of stuff.
G,
Low, but I got so far, it's not enough. $1 million, that's not enough. Flock of birds, that's not enough. Case Remy, that's not enough. Everything I want, a lot of stuff.
G, low.
I want a whole lot of stuff.
G,
Low, but I got so far, it's not enough.
We're listening to me, the Doc Mista Trey, on YouTube Live. Yeah, I'm a real doctor, like Dr. Phil's a real doctor, only bald. Wait a minute, he's bald. Only sexy. Yeah, sexier. Live with the Doc on YouTube, Monday through Friday on High Tide. Stay great.
I'm the doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
Yeah, we are live and in effect, baby. Good morning. It is, of course, that beautiful hump day. Hump day ridiculous. Hump day conspicuous. But it's still hump day. So it's hump day. So, you know, I like Wednesday because if I'm gonna do anything on Wednesday, I sure would prefer to be humping. So I kind of like hump day. You know what I'm saying? You know, you put on that Marvin Gaye, that bow, chicka, bow, wow. You know what I'm saying? Now here you go. I got the perfect one for it right here. Here you go. You ready? Ready? This is what you put on. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? That's what you have to put on. That's what you have to put on right there. You get a little sexiness going. You get a little bit of that sexiness going on right there. And that's what you got to put on. No doubt about it in my mind. That's what you put on. You put on a little sexy music. It's hump day. You're like, girl, I want to hump you. I want to do it to you nasty. I want to do it to you wrong. Because it's hump day. Now, yesterday was Super Tuesday. And by the way, a blowout, for a lack of better words, Marco Rubio gets blown out by Donald Trump in his home state of Florida. As a matter of fact, the only county that Marco Rubio even won was Dade County, where he resides in. So me personally, first off, I voted in the Democratic ticket, and I will tell you that at the time, I want to be clear, at the time of that election, I had to make a choice between Sanders and Clinton, and at the time, I chose Clinton as the front runner because I have to vote in Colorado. I'm not a resident of Florida. I work here temporarily. Like I'm going back to Colorado. So one of my listeners, by the way, on Periscope, please let us know where you're listening from and we'll give you a shout out. One of my listeners on Periscope, and by the way, shout out to Periscope, YouTube, and everybody watching us across the country and the globe. You're of course on High Tide Stick Live with the Doc Mista Trey. And we're of course in the wake of Super Tuesday, where Donald Trump utterly obliterated Marco Rubio yesterday in Florida, where we live. I'm in Tampa, Florida, by the way. That's where we're broadcasting from. By the way, next week we'll be broadcasting from Colorado Springs, Colorado, where I'll be getting smoked down. No go. So like I do that. I don't do that anyway. But I'm working on a deal to broadcast to you live from the world famous Speakeasy Vape Lounge. But anyway, by the way, listeners coming out of St. Louis, Missouri right now, Tampa, Colorado Springs, up in Newport Richey. We got listeners coming through all over the globe, by the way, in Europe, and of course, Eastern Europe, Asia, and so on and so forth. So welcome everybody to the show, of course. So right here on High Tide Stick Radio, we stick to weed and politics and breaking news. I mean, that's our platform. So yesterday was a big day for us because it was the third Super Tuesday in this election that's coming up, and it was a mind-blowing moment. It was a moment where we had to take a look at Marco Rubio, who here in Florida, by the way, if you don't know this, Marco Rubio feels like he was burned by, or Florida feels like it was burned by Rubio here in Florida. Just a heads up. Like, if you want to know why he got his ass kicked in the primary so bad, it's because most of Florida doesn't trust him. Most of Florida doesn't like Rubio. Most of Florida thinks Rubio is a crook scoundrel and is bought by the party. Most people think that about Rubio. Most people think that Rubio is bought by the party. So because of that, Trump crushes him because everybody's so anti-establishment. Everybody's so, anarchy, anti-establishment. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that when you have a huge anti-establishment movement going on within your own party, and you have the establishment's pretty boy who's been polished and shined for that good old Republican frontrunner seat, of course, he's going to get crushed at that moment in time. He's going to get obliterated at that moment in time. By the way, shout out to everybody on the West Coast that's joining us out in California and out in Hawaii, where you're just waking up and you're waking and baking with the doc. Cheers to that. So anyway, yesterday was a huge win for Kasich, though, because Kasich has done something that only Cruz and Kasich have been able to do, which I think is why only Cruz and Kasich are fit to stay in the race any longer, and that's that they won their home state. I didn't even think Cruz was going to win Texas, to be honest with you, but he did. So he deserves to be in there. If you can't win your own home state, you shouldn't be in there. And here's why. Because just like Rubio is the first sitting senator since the 1960s to lose his home state in a primary, which the primaries didn't even start being used or taking place until the 60s. So understand that the data that we have on primaries being ran this way, where there's like splits and stuff, that's a primary. No, I'm actually broadcasting from the rental that I have for another week, and then I'm out. Peacing out. So just for anybody who wants to know where I'm broadcasting from, it's from the rental where I rent, where I've been renting the place while I was working out here in Tampa, which I'm leaving soon. But anyway, and as a matter of fact, I'll be flying to Colorado Springs. There won't be a show next Monday or Tuesday because I'll be flying to Colorado Springs on Tuesday, and I need Monday to get get everything out of the way. I'm shipping everything out of here later today that's not rental stuff. What's mine, it's all gone today. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally, getting packed up anyway. And for those of you that wonder where the questions are coming from, those are some of our listeners on Periscope, some of our listeners on YouTube, and some of our listeners on throughout the other different places that are commenting on like Twitter and Instagram and all those good things. And you can follow us on High Tide Stick on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. You can follow me personally, The Real Mista Trey. That's MISTATRE, The Real Mista Trey. Follow me anywhere across the country, across the globe, and you can keep up with what we're doing here at High Tide Stick Radio. This is, of course, High Tide Stick Radio, a marijuana platform. So the election, by the way, so many people always kind of wonder, like when I talk to people, they go, man, I watched your show yesterday, man, you are really intelligent on politics and you cover a lot of politics. But right now your show seems to be about 50-50 politics to weed. And I go, well, you got to think about it, bro. You got to think about it. Right now, every single person running for office, every election, every piece of this, every part of this is going to go directly towards marijuana legislation. I'm going to tell you right now, if you ain't frightened by Donald Trump, you should have issues. You should have issues if you're not frightened by Donald Trump, and I'll tell you why. Because when it comes to Donald Trump, you should be frightened for this reason and this reason alone. And here it is. he's probably going to have Chris Christie as his attorney general, secretary of state, or vice president. And Chris Christie is marijuana's enemy. Chris Christie is the enemy of weed. Chris Christie has vowed to shut down marijuana. Uh-oh, Moscow, Russia in the house. What up, Russia? Duh, I'm with you. Shout out to the Kremlin out there in Russia. What up, people? Love Moscow. Shout out to the Russians out in Moscow joining the show with us on Periscope, of course. That's why I love Periscope. As long as you have internet, you can watch our show for free from anywhere in the world. But anyway, so shout out to Moscow. So again, I think that the biggest thing here is that Rubio's out of the race. And I think that it's fair because he didn't win his own state. He didn't win anything in this state except his own county that he lives in, which was Dade County down in Miami. And then Kasich actually wins Ohio. And I'd say by a pinch more than probably what he thought he was going to win. On the Democratic side, though, by the way, guys, no surprise, Clinton gets big wins where she was supposed to. And, everybody's looking for this huge upset to come in like Florida or Ohio for Senator Sanders, and I just didn't see it coming. The upset in Illinois, I think we all kind of saw that coming, but we didn't see the upset, like the big Michigan upset that he had. And I think that that's what we expected. What we learned from Super Tuesday, by the way, because I want to get off politics, and that's really simple though, is this, and it's as simple as this. As we move forward, I think that we found that whether you like it or not, whether I like it or not, Donald Trump's going to be the GOP front runner for the remainder of this race. And I think that he's going to win the party's, I think he's going to get the people of the party's nomination, but I think they're going to broker him. I think they're going to try to fight him all the way to the end because they don't want him as the party leader because they pretty much feel like he'll destroy the party. Now, on the other side, I think Clinton will win the nomination. I think that Clinton's a front runner, and I pretty much think that Clinton can win the White House, and here's why. The bottom line is that if you like pot, you don't want a Republican in office. They are the enemy of marijuana. So, moving forward, though, what type of weed is more highly now? What do you mean as in highly? I'm Kush. Okay, what weed is more like a Kush or whatever? I think that depends on what you want. This question, by the way, before we go to break, I'll answer this question for our listener from Moscow who's asking what type of weed is like better for getting you high, like a Kush or this or that and that and this. And here's the deal is that I think the answer to your question is actually it could be a couple of different answers, and here's why. I think it depends on what you're trying to do. Are you, excuse me, the question becomes, I'm sorry, I'm a little hoarse. Anyway, the question becomes, are you trying to get like stony, couchy high, or do you got shit to do? That's the real question. And here's why. Because if we're talking about indicas, then the good doctor, me, the doc Mista Trey, the good doctor is going to recommend to you that if you're trying to kill a severe amount of pain, you need your head to sort of be confused a little bit. You want to have a high THC concentrate in your pot because that's what's going to get you fucked up. That's what's going to give you that high feeling. However, if you have a lot of pain, don't forget to balance in the CBDs, which are your painkillers and which are also your anti-inflammatories. So you want to make sure that it is. So that, but here's the thing is that any 100% indica is going to put you on your ass. So you have to sort of counterbalance that, or you have to sort of counteract that heavy indica. You have to hit that with, sorry. Anyway, you have to hit that heavy indica. You have to hit that heavy indica right in the face with some sativas. So here's the thing is, like me, I smoke a lot of 100% sativas and heavy sativas because they're high. They keep you, it's like a wakey high. And so the good news about the wakey high is it keeps you, awake. So I like the wakey high better, personally. That's me personally. So, but again, I'm gonna speak for myself, of course, on this one and say that I like the wakey high better. But to each his own. Let's not let's don't overthink that. But to each his own. By the way, music during the break going to be Mr. D. We're going to go to break. When we come back from the break, we're going to continue to talk about this. We're going to continue to inform our listeners. During the break, we've got Mr. D with I Hope You Like Surprises. We'll be right back after the break. You're listening to the Doc, Mr. Trey on High Tide Stick Radio. High Tide Stick Radio reminds you not to do anything stupid on marijuana. Like get busted by your parents. You're listening to the Doc live on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. That's what they want, man. Yeah. Keep all this, by the way. Right. I hope you like surprises. Yeah. Right. I hope you like surprises. I like that, man. Right. I hope you like surprises. Yes. I got it. Only I'm putting no elements on the front part so you can just read that. But look, I hope you like surprises. I bet this gon' surprise you. When ain't no one beside you, it's easy to decide who loves you when you got to, who loves you when you not you. Ain't got about the piss in, still I go in like pothole. Smoking more than 5 heads. Kill these niggas, mister. I just got the call from dead. Getting emails from the feds. DP told me stay ahead. And if I stay anything, just stay about your bread. I'm just doing what he said, nigga. I'm just doing what he said, nigga. Got it. Told me he said bum rush these niggas, they ain't ready. Free my niggas out the state and the feds. And my niggas in the halfway trying to make 9 reds. Hold your head, ain't no way that they can hold us forever. I'm out here going hard, they think I'm trying to set a record. I'm just here to set the record straight. Real about the ricochet, realest shit I ever say. Mr. Too Serious, they like, I don't think he ever played. Do exactly what I say. Rocky Mountain Cold, only do what's in the code. It's so hard to trust a soul, they hate to see you touch your goals. Your teammates want you to fumble. Young man had to rumble, step my game up off the stumble. I done had my heart crumble. They wonder how I keep coming for niggas spots. Coming for niggas spots. Cause I done seen the realest niggas stripes turn to that same line. Hey, these niggas like to say a lot. Man, these niggas like to say a lot. I hope you like surprises. I did it on my own. Ain't nobody advising. I refuse to lie to you. At times I wanna give it up. Like fuck it all and give it up. It's hard to live and live it up. Live it up. If death come up on me, how long they gon' mourn me? How long you gon' hate me? I cheated on you years ago. How long you gon' hate me? You tatted, you can't erase me. We got a child that we raising. I'm raising hell on these niggas, trying to reconcile my differences. I be on that different shit. Got a bitch that love me, but I be with a different bitch. Selfish ass nigga. All I want is everything. Willing to do everything. Yeah. And I put that on everything. Yeah. I put that on everything. I put that on everything. So, at least I hope you like surprises, nigga. Right? I hope you like surprises. Like surprise, yeah. Everything when I change, right? Yeah. Still like surprise, they still repping the same thing. Still the same, right?
We're listening to me, the Doc, Mr. Trey, on YouTube Live. Yeah, I'm a real doctor. Like Dr. Phil's a real doctor, only bald. Wait a minute, he's bald. Only sexy. Yeah, sexier. Live with the Doc on YouTube, Monday through Friday on High Tide Stick Radio.
I'm the doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
Keep dwelling on the past, babe. I need some real good loving, 'cause I'm troubled by the things that I see. Ooh, I need some real good loving. Ain't nobody been around here loving on me.
All right, we are back. You are on High Tide Stick Radio's live with the Doc Mr. Trey, coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. And we are back talking weed. We are, doing weed things. We love weed. It's kind of our, it's kind of our thing. So I tell people, it's kind of our thing. Weed, it's kind of our thing. So before we went to break, we had a listener ask us a question and through Periscope, and our listener Periscope said, what kind of weed is, the best weed to get high? He asked me if it's Kush, Indicas, And I said, well, it really depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're trying to achieve a really stony high and you want to be stuck in the couch at munchy high, then you're going to want to go with a heavy indica, something like a Kush. But, if you're wanting to, go out and party all night long, you might want to go with something that's like a heavy sativa or full or double sativa, something like a strawberry cough or, something like a sweet island skunk or something that's a hybrid, but it's mostly sativa. You don't want to go too heavy into any indica if you've got shit to do, is the bottom line, because I think that it really kind of tires you out and tuckers you down. Now, there are two types of medications involved in the two different strands. See, strands are kind of how they hit you. Sativa, the strand sativa hits you like a wake up. It's a good wake and bake weed. This is a sativa. And I'm perfectly awake, fully functioning pothead. Okay, so that's your sativa though. But your indica, if I was smoking an indica right now, I'd be sitting back like this, like, are we doing a radio show? Huh? I mean, that's the reality of it. That's what would happen. That's the reality of it. So then you also have the difference between THC and CBD. Okay, THC is sort of like that euphoric high, like, man, I'm fucking high, bro. And then CBD is like, you ain't high at all, but you ain't feeling shit. Like the pain doesn't bother you. You're not feeling nothing. It doesn't hurt today. That's, I think, the difference, a fundamental one nonetheless, but I think that's the difference. So if you're trying to kill pain, you need a high amount of CBD, but you also want that THC in there so you can get stoned. A lot of the THCs that you smoke, whether you know it or not, are in that 20 to 30 percentile of THC. The balance is the difference is that the rest is CBD. So you're talking about like 70% CBD. So there's a lot involved in marijuana. I say that that's why finding that right hybrid that has the right amount of THC to CBD for you, but has the right amount of indica and sativa for you, can really like mess with stuff. And as Chris is on Periscope commenting right now, Chris Watkins from Bay City, Michigan, commenting on Periscope, just like he said the thing is the CBD does not work without THC. That's the catch. So you can't have a completely non-THC plant. We've already had this discussion. That's the mistake that the government keeps finding out the hard way. But the reality is, is that much like Charlotte's Web that we've mentioned many times on the show, the Charlotte's Web plant is going to do the trick though, in respects to the most minimal amount of THC. I mean, we're talking about like, it's got less THC in it than swag, and swag barely gets you stoned. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that the debate isn't out on it, but it's definitely something that it can be difficult to find the right strand that moves you the right way. And I also recommend that you find two strands, maybe a wake and bake strand and then a sleep strand, so you don't get completely used to just one kind of weed, so that you switch it up a little bit. That's what I try to do. I'll try to get like an ounce and a half of regular weed, and then I try to get just like a half ounce of just or indica, so that way I got that, like, I'll smoke a couple hits off that indica and be like, peace, see you tomorrow, deuces, dude. And so it works. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Maryland. Maryland, by the way, for those of you that don't know, signing an agreement or reaching an agreement with a research company to start cannabis research in Maryland. This is a huge step forward, as research, of course, very limited in THC. Also, by the way, before we move on to this next story, I just wanted to say that CNN called Rubio's loss a crushing blow. And Missouri, by the way, still too close to call on the Republican side of the ticket. Just a heads up on that one. So, if anybody saw Cruz's speech in reference to Rubio, by the way, just before I move on, I almost forgot about this. If anybody saw Cruz's speech in reference to Rubio's loss yesterday, you should be laughing because Cruz, when I heard him speak, I just envisioned a vulture like standing over like the corpse of Rubio and telling his supporters that I was like almost like Tom Cruise crazily or erratically, you know, leaving the company. Who's with me? Who's with me? You know, or like a cartoon vulture, like, ha. So, you know, you ain't got to go, but you got to go. So you can't stay here. You got to go somewhere. So, no, I did not, Chris, by the way. I didn't see the petition that you posted. Interactively chatting with us live on the show, by the way, through Periscope. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube and, of course, across the country, globe, nation, etc. Shout out to everybody doing that, Daryl. Yeah. Shout out to all you wonderful peoples out there, you know, who are listening and watching and hitting the hot button. But anyway, so before and by the way, just to end politics for now at least, one last thing. With the GOP debate coming up on Fox News, Trump, who's still standing his ground against Fox News and their early onslaught against him or his alleged claims of this, has vowed to not do the Fox News debate with them at all. And so again, or once again, it turning into this huge ordeal. Really, Chris's petition, by the way, to remove Trump. If you want to support that, go to High Tide Stick Radio. You can support Chris's petition to remove Donald Trump. He'll post it there for you. And if you agree with him, me personally, I do agree with him. I don't think that guy's the right guy for the office. I think that Hasek was your best shot, and the fact that you guys don't back him or get behind him on the right side of the realm of things, at least, it really blows my mind. Like, it really just, I'm just like, whoa, really? Like, that's what you choose to do? That's who you choose to back? I think that sometimes we don't recognize the just the ludicrous of our own stupidity sometimes. And oh boy, do I think we should, though. Oh boy, do I think we should. Because at the end of the day, I think that we got to voice our opinion. We have to do something about it. I mean, we have to. That's just the way it is. If you believe in equality and justice and all these other things that I think that are important to everybody, then that should be the end of it. So if you feel like supporting that petition, please feel free to. I know I'll sign it. It's no secret that I don't back Trump anyway. So I don't really care what you think of me or what anyone thinks of me for that matter. I'm not backing Trump. It's not personal. It's simply the business of this nation. And it's funny, too, because the only place where Trump is really getting it done in the polls, honestly, the only place where he's getting it done in the polls, honestly, is really simple. The only place is against, think about it this way. Donald Trump's winning polls in America by simply winning uneducated or Americans without college degrees. Donald Trump overwhelmingly wins in the polls with uneducated white Americans. He's basically sort of hurting the dumb sheep of America. It's why I think you should have to pass a civics test to be able to vote. I think you should understand what you're doing before you just pick any fucking idiot in this country. It's a downside to this country. I think that you should have to be educated, at least in civics, to vote. I'm not saying that you should take it. And one of my listeners or viewers on Periscope said he has my vote and I'm educated, and I'm fine with that. But do you not understand that he overwhelmingly wins with white, uneducated Americans, and that's scary. Shout out to England in the house, by the way. Brightonton, England in the house on Periscope. And so, again, let us know where you're commenting from, by the way. Don't just say hi to us, or don't, chew my butt because I don't like your candidate. But what I'm saying is that please, by all means, let me know where you're at so I can at least give you a shout out. The thing is that I haven't made my decision on my final decision, but I've narrowed it down to John Kasich if he can win the Republican nomination, Hillary Clinton, or Bernie Sanders. I've narrowed it down that far. That's it. That's all I got, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm telling you, everybody should be educated in civics. You should understand the political process before you can do anything. I don't know if I could support a Trump Kasich ticket either way. Although I think that Trump in a VP spot would tame him enough that I wouldn't be as worried about him. I don't want his finger on the button. I'm going to be very honest with you. He has no temperament, and his record for getting just pissed off and pulling the plugs per se is astoundingly terrible. Like, I think that once a lot of people really see the open book of his record, they're going to realize that the thing is that he really hasn't created jobs in this country. Yes, let's legalize Mary Jane and tax it like Colorado did, where just Aspen, just a little ski town, had $8 million in marijuana sales. Just a little tiny ski town. Or was it billion? 8 billion? 8 million. $8 million. No, but that's just it. Trump wouldn't. No, Trump wouldn't. He wouldn't legalize anything. He's already made that clear. And I'll tell you how he's made that clear. Because his attorney general front runner, guys, and this is what you have to understand, is none other than Governor Chris Christie. Governor Chris Christie as an attorney general means goodbye to Colorado marijuana, goodbye to Washington marijuana, goodbye to DC, goodbye to Oregon, goodbye to anybody who has legal weed. If, again, Chris Christie is either anywhere in there, really. If Chris Christie has anything to do with the attorney general, the secretary of state, the VP office for Trump, I promise you, without a shadow of a doubt, marijuana rights are going out the window. He's one of the biggest people to speak out against marijuana rights. If you're voting for a Republican, you don't support marijuana, I promise you. I tell people this all the time. If you vote for a Republican, you do not support marijuana, and here's why. Here's why. Because even Republicans that support marijuana don't have enough backing in their own party to help you. End of story. End of story. It's why the first state to legalize marijuana took 4 years after Republicans were out of office. Guys, this is what I do for a living. I bring the reality of potism and the pot realm, the potism. I bring the reality of that to the politicioso. And I'm telling you, when it comes to politics, people, when it comes to the world of politics, I can guarantee you a Republican office, if you support marijuana, is the most frightening fucking thing you can think of. You should be afraid. You should be scared. Because at the end of the day, bye-bye pot. Bye-bye ganja. Bye-bye good old green. Goodbye yummy, yummy goodness. Bye-bye it all, man. And that's the reality of it. I know you don't want to agree with me. Hell, I don't want to agree with me. But that's the way it's going down, bro. Trump is not a bad person per se. It's not, like I said, again, it's not personal. I don't think that's not necessarily that he's a bad person. It's not any of that. To be honest with you, quite frank with you, as simple as this, it's just he is a frightening tragedy is the word I'm going to choose to use, because he's a great entertainer. He makes a lot of good points, but you can't, America, that's the problem with America is that we've always either stood up to the bully or bullied our way through stuff. And the thing is that I can promise you in today's day and age, the Chinese are going to look at us and laugh right in our fucking face because we ain't bullying anybody anymore. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As my good friend watching us across the pond over in Brighton, the UK, he just commented on Periscope and he says, hey, Big Farm is one of the biggest backers of political people in the United States, period. And he's right. He's absolutely right. It doesn't matter. And here's a news flash. He didn't say the United States. I just wanted to throw a bang in there for your buck and just say the United States real quick to fuck with you. The fact is that he's actually doing this world fucking wide. Nobody should be surprised. If you'll let Big Farm into your country, Big Farm will give whoever's in charge at that time money. They don't care if you're warlords. They don't care if you're a dictatorship. They don't care if you're a democracy. They'll just buy your democracy. If you have democracy, they'll own it. They'll buy the fucking thing. They don't care. And we get sick, we pay or we die. So, because how do you stop Big Farm? That's what we're going to talk about when we come back from break. Before we go to break, or when we get back from break, I'm sorry, we'll continue the conversation with everybody on Periscope, YouTube, and all of those. I'm the Doc, Mr. Trey. We'll be back right after the break, right here on High Tide Stick Radio, live with the Doc, Mr. Trey. We're listening to me, the Doc, Mr. Trey, on YouTube Live. Yeah, I'm a real doctor, like Dr. Phil's a real doctor, only bald. Wait a minute, he's bald. Only sexy. Yeah, sexier. Live with the Doc on YouTube, Monday through Friday on High Tide Stick Radio.
I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a motherfucker. I just put a 40 on my wrist just like a bus. I just put 10,000 on my bitch just like a bus. I just drank what I said just like a bus. I said just like a bus.
You fucking rich, nigga.
Boss.
Smoke something that's no front in my zone jumping. Drink lean and we go guzzling. Y'all whole youngins don't know nothing. Twist trees and blow muffins. Hit this weed and it's all over. Indeed, we all stoners. Smoke a red breed. Just call no like hold up. You geeked it. Stunt hard all weekend. Yo, bro, be freaking. Full splashing her deep in. Gotta get this cash. Hustle hard, no sleeping. These niggas be vegans. Talk about they eating. Real shit, I got it, master. This loud if you try and match it. Paint a picture, you should try and capture it. But if not, gon' find a caption. This ain't normal cause I ain't average. Niggas off a bunch of lies of fashion. Hollywood, that's a lot of acting. But ask about me shit live in action. You know what's up, nigga. This shit ain't really hard, B. Your guts get cut like cigars, see? I'm high up with the guards, G. Rest in peace, Bob Marley.
I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a motherfucker. I just put a 40 on my wrist just like a bus. I just put 10,000 on my bitch just like a bus. I just drank what I said just like a bus. Yeah. Just like a bus.
Word up.
I think I'm by a mark. That's why I blaze a jar. I smoke that loud pack. No, I don't fuck with loud. For that blue dream, I need an eighth for that. Yeah. I'm headed to the lab, and please believe I'm facing that. Yeah. I'm in the zone, I'm in my zone now. Yeah. Leave me alone now. Yeah. I'm rolling up so I can blow it down. Bitch, I'm turning up and never turning down. No, that too is good weed with no stems and no seeds. I get green, smoke green, my hood green. I'm so green. I mean, more money, more problems. If niggas trip, then head problem. That good weed, you know I got it. And I'm taking off like you used to rock. Breathe. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner, I'm a stoner. I'm a motherfucker. I just put a 40 on my wrist just like a bus. I just put 10,000 on my bitch just like a bus. I just drank what I said
I feel like Fable. 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 I feel just like.
High Tide Stick Radio reminds you not to do anything stupid on marijuana. You know, like get busted by your parents. You're listening to the doc live on YouTube.
I'm the doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.
But tell me, you shouldn't just come in like that. Like when we first heard it, I was just listening. I was like, "Girl, you should know that I want to get in your pants." No, I'm just playing. Anyway, welcome back. We're back from the break. You're live on High Tide Stick Radio live with the doc, Mr. Trey. Hashtag that shit. Live with the doc, MISTA TRE. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good shit with the real Mr. Trey. That's the real MISTA TRE. You can also follow the station on all that shit with just at High Tide Stick Radio. So we are back from break, and before we went to break, I kind of front loaded the next topic, or give you an idea what the next topic was going to be, which is has to do with the Flint water crisis. And by the way, if you haven't donated to Chris Watkins' charity for the Flint, Michigan water crisis, you need to do that. I just donated on that bitch. I threw a bill on that bitch. Last week, over the weekend, I think it was. It might have been like last Friday or something. I forget when I did it, but I did it. You know, you guys got to donate to this charity because a lot of these people are being poisoned by their own water, and that's a problem. So here's the deal. Democrats want Governor Schneider, from the governor of Michigan, to pay his own legal fees for his criminal defense as he's being brought up on charges and being brought up or taken to court over the Flint, Michigan water scandal. Now, it's estimated that $1.2 million in legal fees is what will be the relative cost for a defense team for this case. About $1.2 million. So taxpayers like Chris that are from Michigan, and Chris, you can comment on Periscope and I'll try to keep up with your comments, but taxpayers in Michigan like Chris Watkins don't want to pay his legal fees because it is their determination. Now, you have to understand that it has not been determined by any legal court or any legal system, but it's been determined by the people of the greater state of Michigan that they do not want to pay the legal fees or criminal legal fees of any of it because he basically, they believe that he knew that the water was going to become contaminated with lead. And so they don't want to pay. Chris Watkins from Michigan, in Bay City, Michigan right now, commenting on Periscope saying, hell no, we don't want to pay for it. So the Democratic House Majority Leader out there, his name is Tim Grimmell, I believe is how you say it, threatened to do his part to strip at least $800,000 from the executive office's budget if Schneider doesn't voluntarily foot the bill for his own legal cost. Flint was being run by a state-appointed emergency manager when it switched in 2014 to the Flint River. The corrosive river, of course, caused the leaching of the pipes, which allowed lead to seep into the homes of Americans and poison these people. Women have miscarried. I do believe that the one story that we covered a couple weeks back when we first came back from break absolutely is caused by that fucking water. That she miscarried both of those twins. One in, I believe it was like week 8, the other one in week 13. What a terrible thing. What a horrible thing. What a terrible thing. And all this shit happened under Snyder's power as Chris just alluded to on Periscope in the chat room or the chat thing, the live chat for High Tide Sig Radios, and he's absolutely right. All this could have been avoided. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, all of this could have been avoided. But no, they rush to cut corners. They rush to be cheap. They rush to do this. And that's just it right there. That's the problem is. Measure twice, cut once. So my dad used to always tell me. Measure twice, cut once. Always make sure that it's right and done right the first time. Do never, ever repeat yourself or have to do something over or redo something or apologize because you fucked up. Do it right the first time. It's just like a job. It's like when I tell my little cousin, go do the dishes, and I go out there and the dishes are done half-assed. And I'm like, dude, seriously? He's like, oh, I still washed them. I was like, there's still shit on them, dude. You didn't do it. Now go do them again. I take them all back out, throw them right back in the sink, wash them again, fool. Should have done it right first time. Wouldn't have to do it again. This is life. This is life, and this is life you're fucking with. And the scariest part about it is, and this is why I think that he should be on the hook, not only for his own legal fees, but I think that he should be on the hook for deaths, is the minute they prove that any single one death is the cause of the Flint water crisis, then I move to the death penalty. And I'll tell you why. Because you knowingly, willingly, or intentionally allowed this to happen. All of which make you derelict in your own duty as the governor of the state of Michigan. Go look these words up for all my stupid people. Derelict. Look it up. Or dereliction of duty. Look up the phrase. Google that shit. Tell your little Google phone, okay, Google, dereliction of duty, definition. Look it up. Because if you look up the fucking definition of dereliction of duty, you're going to see exactly what the fuck the Michigan governor Schneider actually did. He was derelict in his duty because he knowingly, willingly, or voluntarily, with the knowledge of a potential health crisis, allowed this to happen. So, you should be brought up on criminal charges? Yes. You should be brought up on civil charges? Yes. You should be brought up on murder charges? Possibly. I don't want to go that far yet. I told you, I don't like to speak out of turn. It's not the right time for that. But if you can prove without reasonable doubt, and you think you can, to the point where you take that charge to a district attorney, and that district attorney says, yes, let's file charges, let's bring him in. Let's bring him in on a murder rap. If you can do that, then do it. Here's why. Dereliction of duty. You knowingly, willingly, voluntarily, without provocation, that means without being provoked, by the way, for anybody who needs to know that, without provocation, allowed a fucking health crisis to happen in your state. The governor is like the father of the state. The governor is like the president of the United States. Listen, when it comes to, blank is to blank as blank is to blank on your SAT test, guys, you remember that shit? Well, here it is. Your governor is like the mother or father of a household, the head of household to the kids. It's like a teacher to a student. It's like a business owner to its employees. It's like you said, it's like a president to a state. It's like a God. It's like your God to its people. The bottom line is it's the guy that's supposed to look over for you. And when he fails or she fails at doing that as an elected official, you don't get no easy treatment. You don't get no easy street. You pay for your own fucking legal defense. And if you have to go to prison, you don't get to go to daycare prison, because you get to go to murderer prison because you murdered, if that's the case. It's scary, sad, what it's come to. It's scary, sad, the things that I see. It's scary, sad that at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. It's scary, sad. And I honestly don't know how to feel about it as we're getting ready to get out of here for the day, other than anger and frustration. I'm pissed off. I don't understand how you could poison your own people. Like, I don't get it. Like, and the thing is like, if you didn't know, I'd be like, all right, man, shit. Fuck, where do we go from here? You didn't know. But there is absolute irrefutable proof that he knew. Irrefutable proof that he knew. And irrefutable proof that he knew means that you have to do something. Irrefutable proof that you knew means that you are legally liable. Irrefutable proof that you knew means that you need to pay for your own shit. That's what it comes down to. We're going to get out of here for the day. I'm the Doc Mr. Trey. You've been on High Tide Sticks live with the Doc Mr. Trey on High Tide Stick Radio. Thank you for everybody joining us on Periscope. Shout out to Chris Watkins. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to everybody. We love you. I'm out. Peace. Love and peace. See you tomorrow. High Tide Stick Radio reminds you not to do anything stupid on marijuana. Like get busted by your parents. You're listening to the Doc live on YouTube.
Watch me through the money, watch I know you go. Bad girl, bad girl, bad girl, bad girl. You said bad girl. On the real though, I wanna live what you know. Money ain't a thing, as long as we do a thing. Yeah, but you think of you and Uncle, I suppose. You say you a freak, but you ain't seen a bad chick. It's harder, so it gets better. I can take you to a different level. Your people might not agree with what you know for gender. You gotta do what you gotta do, so I'm like whatever. I can make your body grow, yeah. I can even take you higher, ooh, babe. Drunk out the feeling naughty. Hey, shawty, with you, shawty. I can handle more of it. Tell me up, with your baby. You say you drink it, she's a bad girl. And every freakish kind of bad girl. Ain't no limits where you go. Bad girl, bad girl, bad girl. Watch me through the money, watch I know you go. Bad girl, bad girl. You said bad girl. This is super boring. I know my pain, gave me so show me something. I see you watching, all night you be eyeballing. As soon as your shift is over, can we be all night? I can see my hands on your thighs till the sunrise. Girl, can we come alive? Like we on a roller coaster. It no matter how I approach you, looks like you could be a soldier. Down for whatever mission. I know you was scared to drop your panties, girl. We are. So don't mind how you want that sound. You can leave your heels on while we vibe to the sex song. Everything we do, we get paid for, This is super boring. Show me something.
High Tide Stick is an entertainment, cannabis, news, politics, music, and radio talk show on YouTube for 21 and up. So do what you've always done. Kick your siblings out of the room, throw on your headphones, and enjoy the show. You're listening to The Doc on High Tide Stick Radio.
I'm the doctor, by the way. What's your name?
Rose.
Nice to meet you, Rose. Run for your life.